My name is Taisha Bonet, and in this video presentation I will be discussing the addictiveness of tobacco products / nicotine and how this addiction affects the body, along with how, not always, but sometimes, this addiction can lead a person to begin using illegal drugs, and more times than not, it eventually drives a person to commit crime or engage in a criminal event. Most people who use tobacco products continue to do so because nicotine is so addictive. The term addiction, however, typically is associated with narcotics, not nicotine, which ignores the addictiveness of nicotine. Nicotine is just one of about 4,000 chemicals found in tobacco smoke. It is an addictive psychoactive component in tobacco responsible for stimulation and tobacco dependence. Nicotine releases the neurotransmitter norepinephrine, which is responsible for producing stimulation. One of the factors contributing to the addictiveness of nicotine is the speed in which it works. It is absorbed almost immediately by the lungs, reduces blood flow, and reaches the brain in seconds. I have learned that the more quickly one reaches the gratification point from the use of a substance, the more likely addiction is to occur. Nicotine is so addicting that it has even been compared to heroin and cocaine addiction. The likelihood of dependence increases if one feels relaxed the first time a cigarette is inhaled. Smokers feel the effects of nicotine every time they inhale, and the nicotine stays in the body for 8 to 12 hours. Unlike most other drugs, cigarettes do not interfere with most daily behavior, which is another factor that plays a role in its addictiveness. For example, a person can read a book, drive a car, and talk to a friend while smoking or chewing tobacco. Information about the harmful effects of smoking is well known. Most smokers would like to quit, and most are well aware that smoking highly increases their health risk for lung cancer, heart attacks, strokes, bladder and kidney cancer, and so on. However, despite the desire to quit smoking, nicotine is so addicting that smokers just can't, even though they're well aware that cigarettes are detrimental. The effects of nicotine are highly reinforcing. Some people use tobacco to be more alert, and others use it to relax. Many smokers describe the first cigarette of the day as extremely pleasurable. Some claim that cigarettes curtail anxiety, sadness, and boredom. Nicotine improves cognitive performance slightly. The short-term memory and concentration of smokers are enhanced by nicotine for up to half an hour after smoking. Memory, attention, and reasoning ability decline 4 hours after the last cigarette. And although levels of both tar and nicotine in cigarettes have been sharply reduced, this decrease has contributed to the rise in the number of cigarettes smoked, as smokers seek to take in the same amount of nicotine. So therefore, in order to compensate for the reduction of nicotine in the blood, smokers simply light up another cigarette, which is how addiction occurs. One of the ways. Nicotine has been said to have characteristics similar to those of amphetamines and cocaine, which shows you just how strong this addiction really is. Nicotine injected intravenously is 5 to 10 times more stronger and reinforcing the nicotine than cocaine injected intravenously. Another one out of the 4,000 chemicals found in tobacco products is acetaldehyde, which is a chemical with sedating properties similar to those of alcohol. Although using tobacco for stimulation and for sedation seems paradoxical, the state of the smoker and the chemical properties of tobacco play a large role in their effects. Data from Centers for Disease and Control Prevention show a link between cigarette use and other behaviors, including deviant behaviors and criminal activity. Many studies demonstrate that most young people who use marijuana and other illegal drugs began smoking cigarettes, not using alcohol. Cigarette smoking in conjunction with alcohol use, however, is a strong predictor of illegal drug use and behavior. Furthermore, it has been found that more times than not, illegal drug use is responsible for driving a person to commit a crime and or take part in a criminal event. In my opinion, the addiction to tobacco products can cause a person to commit a crime. For example, if a nicotine addict who usually smokes a cigarette every half an hour has gone, let's say, 3 hours without nicotine in their system, smoking a cigarette or chewing tobacco, this can affect their entire mood and behavior in a negative way. Sometimes they can take out their frustration by physically assaulting another person, or if they don't have the money to buy their cigarettes or chewing tobacco and so on, they can go out and rob somebody to get the money to purchase their nicotine. So, which is why I feel nicotine is a huge indicator for crimes committed, and can definitely lead to someone going out and committing these crimes just to get their nicotine fix and get that nicotine back in their system.